Hello, my name is Sven Aerts. I'm from Athletes21. We work along the European policy on dual career management of athletes and also the European policy on the transition management of athletes when they have to move to the next phase of their lives. We work in living lab settings. We come out of the CENTA project, Social Entrepreneurship for Top Athletes, where we looked at the opportunities for athletes from the EU policy on social economy. And I was asked to give you an example on how social entrepreneurship, dual career management athletes and living labs, and give you an example from implementing the sustainability agenda by the World Sailing Federation in sailing clubs, which is an obligation, and how this resulted in a spin-out of a sustainable transport cooperative. So I think you recognize these kind of pictures where when you are at the beach, for example, in a certain moment you see a tractor trailing out the equipment from a sailing club for a kayaking club or whatever, or here a tractor trailing out the dinghy of the life rescue swimmers. By the way, athletes, that is everybody who needs their body to be in an athletic shape for their job. So of course sporters, but also dancers, acrobats for circus, and life rescue swimmers. And here, working in a living lab setting, let me just quickly show you what that is. So this is a living lab setting. That is in contrast with a lab from people working in exact sciences, who are maybe working with chemicals, with bacteria, make a lot of noise. Those labs, you want to have them a little bit further away. But researchers who are in human sciences, they want to be close to, for example, governmental organizations, cabinets, ministries, working, who have to try to make citizens more healthy, for example. There is also NGOs working probably on these things. There is also companies that have developed probably more healthy or more sustainable products, but sometimes they are faced with a civil society or other companies who do not want to take up as eagerly their innovations. And so in a living lab environment, close to citizens, they can experiment quickly and they can adapt quickly their concepts until they find a solution that works. In the World Sailing Federation, for example, they developed a quality manual here, a Sustainability Agenda 2030, that has to be implemented in all the sailing clubs. It is aligns with the quality manual of the Olympic Games, which is called Olympic 21. Let me show you. And so in our so what we do with clubs and with athletes is to work with in living lab settings and to implement it, for example, this Sustainability Agenda 2030, which is an obligation, in their sailing clubs. And so what we do is we Google together with the clubs their region plus the word living lab plus research. And then you will see that there are research organizations in your region that pop up who are working in living labs. Same thing, you Google your region, Barcelona, somewhere in Greece, Italy, France, wherever, living lab and governmental organizations, and then again with NGOs. And you will find governmental organizations and NGOs in your region who are working in living labs. Idem dito, you do Google your region, living lab, companies, you will find companies who are working already in living labs. And they will be very excited to find athletes who are also involved in living labs, so you understand what a living lab is. Let me show you what this resulted into, for example, in this club. You know that this tractor, for example, they only use it a short moment. And what they did, they collaborated with the company GS21, who transformed this tractor into an electric tractor. And they also had a drop-to-ground trailer system, which allowed the creation of a spin-out, a sustainable transport cooperative, by the sailing athletes and their friends of that club. And when the tractor is not used to trail stuff out or into the water, or sailing boats in or out of the water, then they use the tractor to trail, to do transport and mobility in the villages around the sailing club. And this way they set up a sustainable transport cooperative. So the point is that this sustainable transport cooperative, it's on a platform economy. Yeah? It's with an app, and so people in the villages behind, they can then order. For example, here they had eTractors that they are training, but also to move other goods. People who need transport, they just signal that they need transport, and then 10-20 minutes later the electric tractor and trailers and whatever is on it, they pass by and they drop off some eTractors, they pick up trash or whatever it is that needs to be transported. Even tourists, by the way, because they have a trailer where they can also transport tourists, for example. So this is a concept that can be copy-pasted now in all the 800 cities where we as 450 million Europeans live. And so the point made is that sustainability is not just green painting your boats, for example. If you do it via a living lab setting, you make your club more meaningful and relevant into your community. But you also find sustainable business spin-outs that you can make money with in a setting that you are passionate about. So, for example, going to do the same thing with Uber, for example, maybe these athletes are not interested in that. But if they do it in a setting where they, in their sailing club setting, for example, then all of a sudden they find it interesting, and they find a passion to also be involved in a sustainable transport cooperative with their friends and family members, for example. And instead of all this money being exported by Uber to somewhere I don't know where, here in these kind of settings with a cooperative, the money stays in the local community, and that is why this project was so interesting and what I want to share it with you. If you are interested, this is my mobile phone number and WhatsApp and my email address, or just Google Athletes21. Thank you.